I just wanted to record this video because when I first started at Gridfox, the hardest thing for me to get my head around was this thing called data relationships. And I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're not either sure what it is, or if you do, you've got little understanding. And so I'm going to use the Gridfox software today to demonstrate exactly what data relationships are. And I'm going to try and put it into everyday terms to help you understand. So we're going to look at three separate relationships. We're going to look at a one-to-one relationship, we're going to look at a one-to-many relationship, and we're going to look at a many-to-many relationship. So don't worry about remembering those because we're going to go straight in now, and I'm going to show you exactly what this means. So on the screen, I'm conscious that you may not have seen Gridfox before. What we've got here are effectively 5 different tables. So think of them as spreadsheets effectively. That's probably what most people will be able to relate to. Now I'm going to talk purely around this first one here called identifications. Now within these tables, I've just added 2 or 3 fields to make it simple. You can obviously add as many as you want, name them what you want, and you can change the field types across a whole host of different options. But for the purpose of this, let's just look straight away at identifications. So I'm going to click out of this, which is where you build your projects, and I'm going to show you the actual data of identifications. And here it is. So this is a single table by itself, and I'm going to demonstrate what a one-to-one relationship is here. Now let's take the name James Kelly, okay? And we're going to associate with James Kelly a passport number. Now, James Kelly can only ever have one passport number that identifies him. And that passport number can only ever have one owner, which is James Kelly. So that is a one-to-one relationship. James Kelly cannot have Claire's passport number, nor can this passport number ending 583 belong to anybody else, including Claire Jones. It is just James Kelly's. So that is a one-to-one relationship. Now the next we're going to look at is a one-to-many relationship. And in this example, I've got families as one table, and I've got names as the other table. And at the front end, this looks like this. We have a Harris family, and we have 4 people associated with that Harris family, a father, mother, son, and a daughter. They're not connected anyway at the moment. So if I click into the family Harris, I just see the name Harris. I click into each of these people, I just see the details you can see on this summary screen. But what I'm going to do is click on this little link icon, and I'm going to move it to the same icon on names. And here it's asking the type of relationship we want to set up. Now, the first 2, which are the ones I want to focus on, we'll come back to this one shortly, are one-to-many relationships. And you basically saying you can do it both ways. So families can have multiple names. In this case, that's correct. So the Harris family can have many members associated to it: mother, father, son, and daughter. So that is the correct way of distributing this data. And it's also asking whether you want to have it the other way around. Well, we don't, because we don't want each of these family members to have a different surname, because that's not how this is set up. So families can have multiple names. It's a one-to-many relationship. When I now go back to my project and click on names, into families, sorry, I can click on Harris and I can attach all those people to the Harris family. So Harris has many names associated with them. It's a one-to-many relationship. And you may also have heard terminology such as parent-to-child relationships. Well, that's how we define this table. So the families is the parent table, and coming off that, we have names, which is the child table. That's a one family to a many child names relationship. Okay, the final part to this is many to many. And this is probably the trickiest out of all of them. And I should point out that I'm demonstrating Gridfox to use these. And the biggest challenge I had actually wasn't so much understanding the concept, but it was understanding when to use what relationship, depending on what I'm trying to build. Obviously, I can't help you with that, but hopefully these fundamentals here will give you a great start to try and figure that out. So we've got two tables here. We've got destination and activity. There is no relationship yet. But let's assume what we want to do is we're traveling around Europe and we want to list all the destinations that we're considering traveling to and a list of all the activities that we want to do. Now in here, Germany could have many different activities. It could have wine tasting, skydiving, and scuba diving, for example. And so that at this stage is a one-to-many relationship. Germany has many activities. However, maybe that you can do many of these activities in different countries. So you could do wine tasting in Germany, Italy, France, etc., etc. So that's why it's a many-to-many relationship, because destinations can have many activities and activities can be done at many destinations. So let's go back to Explorer and start to build this table. As before, we'll do that little relationship between them both. And this time we're going to go to the bottom and we're going to apply this many-to-many relationship. And we're faced with two options. The first one is a direct relationship. The second one has another table in there, which you can see here. We're going to start with the direct relationship. So what this is basically saying is, I just want to log what countries I can do what activities in. So we'll apply that here. You'll see there's an arrow going both ways. If I save that and come back to my project, what that means is now when I click into Germany, I can say, right, I want to add the fact that you can do wine tasting and the theatre in Germany. And that's saved there. Come out, let's go into France. Maybe in France you can do all of these things. Let's just tick them all for speed. We'll do the same with Italy. Oops. And with Spain, we'll just tag one of these. Theatre. Okay. So now if I click on my destinations, you can see in Germany that I've got many different things that I can do. The same with all countries. And if I click on the activity, then I can see where I can do those activities. So this would be great for me to plan out where am I going to do what as I'm traveling around Europe. Now, what came up before, if I just eliminate this and start again, was another option. And that option is a relationship table. So when would that be needed? Well, let's say that we've done all our planning, we've actually been around Europe now. And I want to tag, actually, when did I do these activities? Where did I do these activities? What was it like? Now, the destination and the activity tables don't give us that capability. And even if we put a little field on here, which allowed us to put notes in, it's just going to relate to that destination. And you're not going to know what the activity is. So what we do is we do this join table. Now, in this join table, I can put whatever information I want about this excursion. So I'm going to, in this scenario, just quite simply put a date. And I'm going to put some notes in here as well. So notes about the experience. I'm going to save this now. It's asking me to create a unique reference field. That's not what we're covering today, but as with Excel, for example, you need to have a row of data that is unique for everything else. So all the information can be read from that. So we'll save it. This is just going to provide a 1, 2, 3, 4, so they will always be unique. Now, when I go back to my destination activities and create a new one, gives me the option of saying, right, what's your activity? Well, it's wine tasting. And where did you do that? I did it in France. And it was on this day, and you know, it was good, for example. I can save that. And now there's a list of activities connected to the correct destinations too. Let's just do one more, because it may be that I also did scuba diving in France. I won't put a note in this time just to save some time. So I can do it in this way, and it means that I can almost keep a record diary of all the things that I've done and some notes on that. If I click into France, you'll see that they are still attached here. If I click into activities such as wine tasting, you will see France is sat here. So everything's nicely connected, and I've got a snapshot here of all the things that I did. But having that extra join table just allows us to add more data to this relationship if it's something that's required. Well, I hope you found that useful. Thank you so much for watching. I will say that it is something that comes with practice. So if you can keep remembering the fundamentals from those things that I've just mentioned in this talk, then I'm sure you'll be able to nail it. And if it is Gridfox that you want to utilize to try and create this, then by all means, reach out to me. We offer a concierge service, and all my details can be found in the links below. Thanks ever so much for watching.